Alright, I believe we're finally live. I've had a significantly problematic morning and evening. Suffice it to say, this stream has been scuffed before I even started it. All I wanted to do was play a wizard-themed dating sim for Valentine's Day. And first my webcam setup decided to screw up, and just all sorts of stuff. And of course you may notice the little, you know, creature residing in my eyeball. I honestly was attempting to just quickly grow some roses for my hat. And they grew, all right, in my eye. I am on the world's strongest magical painkillers. And hopefully we can get through the stream before I start screaming like a banshee. Anyway. At the end of the week, I have the chance to review the things I've learned. Right, yeah. Alright, so what was I doing last time I was playing this? Let's see. Corral meeting, dungeon training. Oh, right, yeah. All that fun stuff. Hold on, let me close out some windows. There we go. We learned a couple of spells, and we still haven't met a certain character or two. Or four. And we don't have any other clothing, or some people think they look cool. Yeah. Anyway. On my way out of my room in the morning, I run into Donald and Luke. It's the first exam, man, and you're a wild seed. No one's expecting you to set records. Oh no, we've already started with an examination. Why did I save right before the examination? Yeah, but look, if you fail, you get some demerits. Big deal, we know how to get rid of those. Oh no. Sir, are you planning on, letting me cheat? Luke doesn't look reassured. Talking about this week's test? How are we supposed to pass a test if we don't know how it works or what it's about or anything? Do we have to cast our spells in front of the whole class with everyone watching us to see us screw up? Come on, I've seen you cast in class just fine. Sometimes. If I knew exactly what we had to do, I could practice. That's the point, it's to embarrass you. Sorry, man. All I know is that it's about casting spells somehow. William said telling us anything more wouldn't be fair. But William did tell me more than that. So, you know, I figure thinking on our feet must be part of the point, right? Yeah. You know what? I need more information, so I'm just gonna tell them. I heard that they put you down in the dungeons and you have to find the exit and escape using magic. So you can't practice exactly what you do ahead of time. You have to face whatever obstacles turn up. That makes sense. I'm doomed. Dude, relax. It'll be fine, especially now that Arcturus... Wait, how would you know that? We only found out there's a test this week and all. Rumors? My parents or William? Internet? I shrug. I don't know, it's just something I heard in the cafeteria when the older students were talking. I wasn't paying attention. Donald shrugs. Come on, we have to set our schedules for this week. Alright, so... How do I see the... Oh man, they don't let you see the, Anyway. Oh, right. It's down here now. So, our blue magic is actually kind of low. Our white magic is terrible. How about white, blue, green, red, and then white again? White magic class. We gain 2 white magic skill and 2 stress. Now, my little fireflies, lay your pens down and listen quietly. With magic, and with white magic in particular, your eyes will be open to all manner of secrets. But just because you can peek beneath the veils does not mean that you should. By opening your spirit, you can sense the emotions of those around you, their fears, their needs, their honesty, and their threat. Do you think they were sensing my honesty before? It could be a useful way to find out whether an unknown entity is dangerous to you, or to demonstrate to one that you are not. But it would be dreadfully rude to expose someone's delicate tendresse. Oh, Professor Potsdam. Tend what? So, if while we are practicing, I discover that one of you has a little crush on me, I won't... Ma'am! Ma'am, that is highly inappropriate of a teacher like you. Oh. Think about that before you try to spy on your friends. They are very likely to notice. Empathy. Alert reveals the emotional state of a target. Blue magic class. Gained 1 skill, 1 stress. Illusions, changes of seeming, are not limited only to the visual senses. Alterations of scent and taste are most commonly used to enhance the caster's pleasure, but they might also disguise a danger. Today we'll be working with the most basic alteration of sound, its complete removal. When silence is cast upon the target, any sound it might otherwise emit is altered into nothingness. You could end an irritating hum or hiss, or make your own footsteps completely noiseless to move with stealth. Some entities might use words to ensorcel or ensnare you. Silenced, they are harmless. However, as students of pentachromatic magic, your powers are not dependent on speech. Silencing you would not prevent you from casting spells. It would, however, prevent you from asking questions. Oh. The way he complains, I'm sometimes surprised he doesn't silence all the students. A single target is rendered noiseless for the next 9 turns. Green magic class. Your life force, your energy, is always within you and always surrounding you. You are a unique spark, and wherever you go, you leave tiny traces of that energy in the world that you have touched. By expanding your aura to search for those little traces of living essence, you can feel the footsteps of those who came before you. Now, each of you, stand up. Go and stand in the back of the room. Stretch out. Mingle a bit. After she's had us out of our chairs for a bit, she sends us back to our seats, but not the same seats we were sitting in before. Sense the life of the chair, the tiny traces your classmates have left behind. Oh dear, I should have said, don't sit down! The spell will only detect the last living creature that be in an area. If you cast it in the cave after you've explored every nook and cranny, you may only detect yourself. Track scent. Allows the caster to track the most recent creature to pass through an area. And we gain black magic skill. Now, my little scribes, you should recall that I told you black magic is a magic of solidity and permanence. Life and spirit are chaotic and ever-changing by their nature. Force and illusion might come and go in an instant. Nothing truly lasts forever. Even our world and its magic will someday wither to dust. But that day is not today, and with black magic, we affect things that will last a good long time. Within an object, you can leave an enduring mark upon the world, a message for the future. You may also find it useful to mark your way through a labyrinth, if you can trust the walls not to move. Write or remove words from a target object. Hey Arcturus, Grabby's holding a review session for the exam tonight. You want to come? Are y'all going? It is optional, but why pass up a chance to learn something extra? I'm going because they're going. And I have an idea. For your next detention? Don't ask and I won't tell. Should I go with them? What about Corral? Study session. Skip it. Do I want to be prepared? Well, I mean, we already prepared for the dungeon. Don't we have Corral tonight? They won't mind if we're late, not with our first exam on the line. Fine. It might be useful. Nervous freshmen are crammed in cheek to cheek, whispering vague guesses about how tomorrow's exam process will work. From what I can hear, most don't even suspect the dungeons will be involved. I'm far ahead in terms of planning. I probably shouldn't even be here. I'm taking up space and there's not much to go around. But before I can manage to squeeze out, Grabiner makes his appearance. Open your notebooks if you have them. This is not a quiz. This is for your own benefit. If you do not know the answer, look it up or ask someone. He opens up his own book as if to demonstrate. If you have paid any attention to your schoolwork up to this point, he has a high opinion of his students, doesn't he? You should have a basic conceptual understanding of the pentagrammatic system and its divisions, including a broad range of uses for magic and the scope represented by each of the color categories. Mr. Arias. Head snaps up. Yes, sir? It's a kid from Toad Hall. Probably some kind of werewolf from the Ears and Tail. If I wish to cast a spell to make a beast fur fall out, what color of magic would I use? Green, sir. And he appeared... This kid is in way over his head. Also, he's got... ears. I'll just say that. I should hope that you would know that much without the need to ask for my approval. Miss Middleton, what color of magic would you use to transform a lump of coal into a diamond? Well, it seems like there should be multiple approaches. Choose one. Red, sir? And how do you intend to accomplish this change by the application of force? Well, diamond and coal are both made from carbon, and scientists can synthesize diamonds in laboratories. So if you applied sufficient heat and pressure... That's enough. Miss Middleton, your method may not be impossible, but it is dangerously impractical. Attempting to summon that level of energy would melt the flesh from your bones. Oh. Can Americans really turn coal into diamonds without magic? Before I can think too long about that one, he has turned his gaze upon me. Mr. Emrys, what color of magic might you use to send a message to a fellow classmate? I can feel people looking at me. Am I expected to show off or to play dumb? What color should I pick? Well, if you remember, green magic lets us sense things. Black magic lets us leave messages. Explain. Isn't it obvious? I can use black magic to write my message on an object or the ground. That does not address the sending aspect. Oh. He continues in this vein, putting individual students on the spot to answer questions about the applications of each color magic. Suddenly, his voice cuts off in the middle of a sentence. Mr. Danson. Yes, sir. As you do not appear to have need of these revisions, you are excused. You may find more challenging material to occupy you this Saturday in detention. Yes, sir. He leaves the room. Whatever he was planning, it doesn't seem to have worked. I hope this revision turns out to be worthwhile. It is somewhat tiring. Smart and stress increased by 1. I awakened to a knock on the door. A joyous morning to you, Arcturus. Professor Potsdam, what are you doing? And a wonderful morning to you as well. I got flirty. What am I doing? Oh, you charmer. I've come to deliver the exam schedules. This is a solo exam, so each student has a separate time slot. Report to the listed room at the time indicated to receive further instructions. We don't report straight to the dungeons. Have a lovely day. She continues down the hall to the next door. Well, according to this schedule, I'll find out how it all works this afternoon, after class. And in white magic class, we just gained some white magic. This is the time and place that I was ordered to report. The door to the room is closed, and I can't see or hear anyone around. Am I early or late, or are they? Perhaps they're waiting for me. I knock solidly on the door. And between one knock and another, the world changes. And I find myself elsewhere. You are now in Dungeon Level 1, Layout 2A. I can't see anyone here, and the voice doesn't sound like one of the professors, but logically it must be one of their projections. The exit to the dungeon lies beyond the darkness in front of you. You must use magic in order to escape. Good luck. I wait a moment, but that appears to be the final instruction. Still, I knew this was coming, so it's not much of a surprise. Now it's up to me to find my way out. Alright. There's no WASD controls, I forgot. Oh, wait, that saves a screenshot. Okay. Anyway. We're in... You step forward into total darkness. You cast light. The darkness is dispelled. Oh, what is this? You examine the floor, as far as your eyes can tell. It's a perfectly ordinary stone floor. Needs more skulls is inscribed upon it. Hopefully we don't run out of magic. Hold on. I saw something above us. You examine the vines. Delicate vines cling to the stones of the dungeon wall. They might provide handholds. Over here we have a message. You examine the wall. As far as your eyes can tell, it seems to be an ordinary stone wall. Go back, this is not the way, is inscribed upon it. Well, that's simple enough. Let's take the vines up. The vines tear under the pressure of your hands. They're not strong enough to bear your weight. What could we do to fix this? We have... Breeze, light, diagnosis, inspect, spirit sense, push, empathy, or silence. What else? Is that it? Accent, inscription. None of these seem to be what we would need. Or would it? Let's check the vines. The vines have 2 of 25 health. They are not strong enough to bear your weight. Do we have any sort of healing? Could we perhaps... You cast light. No, that doesn't seem to have done anything. Or... The thin vines rip loose from the wall and fall to shreds. Well, fantastic. Sorry, oops. My bad. Well, is that the only way out? It might actually be. Unless... You know what? Inspect the walls forward. This wall contains a secret door. It's designed to slide away. It seems to be connected to something in the floor. You examine the floor. It looks like just an ordinary stone floor. You can't see any more details with just your eyes. There appears to be a trigger mechanism hidden in the floor, which connects to the east wall and a tiny button to trigger it. Press the button, and a section of the wall slides away. Climb the stairs. I make my way up to the surface, blinking a bit at the sunlight. Congratulations, Arcturus. For succeeding in your quest, you receive 5 merits. Good, because we were at 0. Violent. However, I should warn you to be more careful in the future. Violence should always be a last resort. What do you mean, violent? I wrote something on the wall. Okay, I mean, I did damage the vines, but I didn't expect them to... You know, maybe I should have expected them to do that. Anything that you destroy, you will no longer be able to rely upon. That holds for objects, creatures, and friendships. Ghost Lad says poo poo pee pee. I hope you enjoyed putting your skills into practice. Happy Singles Awareness Day! Thanks, Ghost Lad. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have another student to look after. Well, that's done. So, how'd the exam go? No sweat, right? Oh, come on, it was easy. What went wrong? I know, I was just having trouble getting my spells to come out. I knew I needed light, but sometimes nothing happened. And then when I was trying to follow the breeze, I got mixed up and I blew the wall. The one with the secret door? Yeah. So no problem then, you passed. Yeah? You didn't have any trouble, right, Arcturus? Nope. I think it's time to relax. Our stress is getting pretty high. I mean, it's low, but it's higher than every other stat here. On Saturday morning, someone knocks on my door. I get dressed and pick up my allowance before I answer it. When I stick my head outside, at first I don't see anyone there. After a moment, I spot William down the hall, talking to Luke. Something to do with a Grabinator. Don't call him that. Grabster? Gripper Grabber? Mr. Spooky? If you're not careful, you'll be joining him. He notices me then, and nods in my direction. Right, I've got to get ready, see ya. Luke heads back into his room, and William walks over to talk to me. Hey, Arcturus, I was planning to buy dessert at the mall for my sister to celebrate her first exam. I came by to invite Donald, but he's got detention. Anyway, you're welcome to join us if you like. I'll see you around. He waves and goes on his way. What should I do today? Go to the mall, go to the dungeons, or study? I think we should go to the mall. Head out to catch a shuttle. What should I do at the mall today? Magic shop, games arcade, food court, or window shopping? The American food court is a collection of booths and tables in the center of an open space, surrounded by different food counters along the walls. I spot William at a table with his sister and her roommate, and head over to join them. On the table is what looks like a cake or cookie, but it's more the size and shape of a pizza. The dough is studded with chocolate chips, and the word congratulations is scrawled on top in white frosting. I thought we should celebrate you passing your first exam, V. Aw. She gives him a big hug, her heels lifting off the floor. And you too, right, Ellen? Facing unknown challenges with nothing but your magic? You're a real witch now. Thanks. Hope you don't mind our freshman joining us. Does that mean I get less cookie? Yes, you glutton. Have a seat and dick in, kids. The cookie is split into quarters, and then split again when Ellen gives Virginia most of her share. Stress is reduced by 5. Okay, so that was actually good for us. And we didn't have to pay for any of it, which is good because I'm trying to save my money. On Sunday, the sports club gathers in the gym for their first meeting. It looks like the members are mostly horses and wolves. Donald and Luke aren't here, of course, but I see Jamal and Mikey, who share this next room down from them, and several other older wolf boys. Balthasar is here as well. This must have been what was trying to sign up for that day. Professor Van Brun is sitting on the stage, looking our direction. I suppose a sports club would fall into her area of interest. Virginia steps up and claps her hands. Hey everybody, welcome to Sports Club. I've counted up all the surveys people handed in. Well, actually, Ellen did the counting. Her roommate looks up for a moment, then hunches her shoulders, trying not to draw attention to herself. And it looks like soccer is the all-around winner, so that's what we'll be playing most weeks. Not every time, but if we want to work on our skills, we need to try out different positions in teams and learn how everyone plays. This is our first time, so don't worry about it being balanced. Just have fun. Professor Van Brun, did you want to add anything? What? Oh, no, you're doing fine. Carry on. She looks away, twisting a bit of her jewelry back and forth. Right. Now let's get out there and show that we don't need magic to kick some butt. We split up into two sides. Some of the born witches haven't played football before, so we quickly go over the rules. The game is going well until the ball I kicked slammed into the side of a girl's head. Damn it. Ow! I look up to see if the professor will step in, but she's nowhere to be seen. She must have left the gym while we were playing. These professors are very negligent. Are you okay? I'm fine. It's my fault. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry. Maybe you should sit down for a minute. Well, at least she's being a good sport about it. Still, the middle of a game is no time to get distracted. As I'm coming back to my room on Sunday afternoon, I hear a loud burst of laughter from inside Donald and Luke's room. Do I want to know what's going on in there? Sure. I'm curious, so I knock on the door. Hey guys, what's so funny? The laughter cuts off, followed by a loud thump. I can hear a faint ow. Guys? The door opens and Luke limps outside. Shush. Are you okay? I just tripped. What's going on in there? We can't talk about it. It's a surprise. Right. Oh, one thought. What is grosser, a pile of poop or a bunch of poop molded into a shape? Molded is worse, loose is worse, they're both equal, or I'm not answering that. I'm not answering that. I don't want to talk about this. What? He closes the door again. What are those two up to? At the end of the week, I have the chance to review the things I've learned and save. All right, our diary has something smells. Yeah. Exam review, etc. Nothing. What's next week? Doesn't say. And nothing else in the inventory, so it's really funny how you can only change your clothes on Sunday night. All right. Let's make our schedule. Let's see. I think we're probably going to want to keep training our magic. And then study. And we gained 1 red magic skill. Oh, Arcturus. I turned to see Professor Potsdam smiling at me. There you are, dear. I need to speak with you for a minute. Now that you've all had time to settle in and get to know each other, we will be holding class elections. Oh. Officers will help organize events throughout the year and perform other tasks to keep the school running smoothly. Now, I know your family is very eager to see you hold a leadership position at Iris Academy, but you'll have to win the election on your own merits. If you wish to run for office, you must formally declare your intentions this Friday. Think about it and talk to me later in the week. Have a lovely day. She leaves. Alright, are we gonna run for student council? As I'm coming out of my room in the morning, I hear voices down the hall. Horse Hall are up in arms, and I don't want this to escalate into a full-scale war. Rank war? This would be fun. William shakes his head. You're a smart kid. I know you can do better than that. This? You don't know anything. He closes the door, and William sighs. At this point, he notices me watching. Arcturus. Can we talk for a bit? I need a favor. Well, I don't need it. You don't have to. It just might solve a problem. What's up? Let's go into your room, if you don't mind. I shrug and lead the way. You know Virginia's roommate, Ellen? Right? Do you like her? I don't know her well enough for... Sure. You know what? Let's just lie. She's alright. I don't know her well, but she seems nice. We're in Corral and Sports Club together. She's a good kid, but she's shy, and she's a wild seed. I'm worried that makes her vulnerable. There's a Falcon Senior, Damien Ramsey. He was Ellen Senior during initiation. I think back to the seniors I had to memorize during initiation. Damien was a blue-skinned devil, was he? I would have chosen her myself, but I had other obligations. Because he was required to look after me. Damien is trouble. He's exactly the kind of guy you wouldn't want around your little sister. Oh. He's got a reputation for treating people like belt notches. Or... Oh. Oh, he's one of those. I think he's playing games with her, and I'm afraid she might be falling for him. So what's this got to do with me? She's a nice girl, innocent. I don't want her heart broken by the first bad boy to pay attention to her. I was hoping that maybe someone else could come along to distract her. Someone like you. What? I don't mean anything underhanded. I don't want you to pretend you'll like her. That would be just as bad as Damien. But if you spent a little time with her, got to know her, maybe you'd get along, even if it's just as friends. And if things develop naturally, that would be nice for both of you. Why me? If you want to distract her, why can't you do it? You're her age. She's a kid. I'm a senior. It wouldn't be appropriate. Unless you're Damien, of course. Then it's fine. Except it's not fine. So, William doesn't think he should get involved with a freshman. What about your brother? After Donald left a pile of manure in Horsehall, I don't think that would work. All I'm asking is for you to talk to her, get to know her, and try to distract her from sighing over Damien. I can distract Ellen. I'd rather distract Damien. That's right. That's right. Is this what I think it is? Is there a route for the pickup artist? Or I don't want to be involved. How would we do this? You know what? Let's see what happens. You know, I have a better idea. You said this Damien's a trap setter, right? So instead of distracting Ellen, why don't I distract him? Then he'll leave her alone. William ponders this, then smiles. That might just work. He would enjoy corrupting an innocent young man. Does he know that personally? It's risky, though. He's a sneaky bat. He's clever and manipulative. I can win him over. I know you've got some forewarning, but I don't want you to get your heart broken either. After all, you're my freshman. There must be some history between William and Damien. If I get involved in the situation, I might find out more. This sounds like Damien is a bisexual pickup artist. Very strange. So are you sure you want to do this? I'm sure. Leave it to me. Good luck. If you pull this off, I owe you one. But for now, you'd better get to class if you're going. He leaves. Blue magic gives us 2 skill and stress. And we failed in green magic class. I run into William in the hallway. Hey, Arcturus, how would you like to earn some merits? Potsdam's looking for someone to help her out with a bit of gardening work. So are you up for it? Sure, I guess. Okay, what do I have to do? Go on down to the main quad and look for her there. Thanks, no problem. When we get outside, I see a large stack of clay pots and some tools by one of the flower beds. Oh, there you are. Donald is already standing with her. Hey, you wanted in on this too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, gotta plant chili dogs. Now I've brought you some trowels. You should break up the soil in a circle around each plant before you try to move it. Make sure to keep a good-sized root ball attached, but don't worry about breaking off a few little bits. I'll be coaxing them along with some green magic once we get them to their new nests. They'll be fine. I'll be back in an hour to see how you're getting on. Enjoy. She walks away, followed by the sound of bells. So we're replanting. We're rotating or something. We're just putting these in pots so they can be moved and something else can be planted here. Okay. Do you garden at home? A little, but our soil is very different. Gardening isn't quite the right word. My family is responsible for the land, all of it. I'm more used to looking after trees and vineyards than potted flowers. What about you? I've mowed some lawns, that's about it. But how hard can it be? I like outdoor stuff. Me too. So grab a trowel and let's get moving. We focus on our task without any need for extra chit-chat. It's calming doing something so simple and physical with such clear results. It does make my back hurt after a while, though. Eventually, a thought occurs to me. Hey Donald, what do you know about this class elections thing? Huh? Not much. Why? Are you planning on running? I don't know yet. He shrugs. You do a campaign, and if you win, then you have to help out the teachers organize dances and dinners and stuff. William was voted president of his class last year. So are you gonna follow in his footsteps? No. I'm writing my own legend. Besides, with the things I'd get into, even if I won the vote, they'd strip the title from me in a month. If only students without demerits can run, they probably wouldn't be happy with someone like Donald in the job, even if he does keep his record balanced. Well, we happen to have 5 merits, so... Eventually, the job is done, and Professor Potsdam returns. Wonderful, thank you so much for your help. 10 merits for each of my little gnomes. Alright, we gained 1 stress, but 5 merits, which is actually pretty good. 2 black magic skill, 2 stress. Tonight's chorale rehearsal is more energetic than usual. We do a set of vocal exercises that involve standing up and sitting down for every other note, and then go through a full song while standing on our chairs. Strange. Blaze says that since concerts are almost always performed standing up, it's not good to always rehearse sitting down, where your breath control will be different. Still, we do other songs in our seats, so it's not too tiring. Afterwards, as we're getting ready to leave, I spot Ellen talking to Donald. What's really mean? Your pranks are going too far. Come on, it was funny. She thinks she's getting a present and then voila, Allah. I wish I'd been there to see her face when she figured out what was in the box. It wasn't funny, it was disgusting. This is about the manure, isn't it? I know Virginia can be annoying sometimes, but... Urchin's a spoiled brat who doesn't do any work and makes everybody else wait on her. They both seem upset. Should I step in? I guess we're gonna have to mediate before this actually becomes a prank war. Hey, what's going on? They don't even notice me. So, you do something like that when you know I'll have to clean it up? Then why don't you make her do it? Don't let her treat you like her servant, guys. She gives Donald a look and then walks away. Girls. Maybe I should have stayed out of it. Today is the deadline to register for the class elections. My parents will certainly like to see me take charge, see how I handle myself as a leader without the power of my name to make people follow me. I'm only in America for a year. Do I really need more responsibilities? Do we want more stress? Yes. Absolutely. All the stress. Right. I should talk to Professor Potsdam after today's activities. And we only gained 1 smart. I tracked down Professor Potsdam after class. Yes, Arcturus. I'd like to run for class office. Wonderful, I'll put you down for president then, shall I? Is there another option? Not that you need to worry yourself about. Now, as your good friend William has previously run a successful campaign, I'm sure he can advise you. Advise me? So many decisions to make, my pigeon. You'll want to get a head start on your strategizing, won't you? And you better get to him tonight before the chicken flies the coop. Sometimes I'm not sure what this woman is saying. Now I have other candidates to speak to. Have a lovely weekend. She leaves. I suppose I should go and look for William. After wandering around for a while with no luck, I try William's door. Yes? Oh, hello, Arcturus. Have you made any progress on that little subject we talked about? I haven't really found the right moment yet. Maybe on the weekend? Right, that's another thing I need to think about. I'm running for class president, and Professor Potsdam told me I should talk to you about how to run a campaign. President? I thought that what? It's no secret that Minnie Cochran wants that position. She's been laying the groundwork all semester. Is that what the study club idea was about? Everyone knows her and trusts her. You've got your work cut out for you. Do you think I can win? I can't promise you anything, but I can give you some campaign pointers at least. The first thing you need is a campaign theme. A name and a slogan that makes people want to vote for you. Minnie is playing the responsibility angle. Hard worker, top student, dedicated to helping others. You can't compete there. You're going to have to be charming, exotic, exciting, worldly. You know, you're the first Latvian a lot of these freshmen have ever met. You could romanticize that. Play up images of knights and castles. That is exactly the direction I can't go in. If someone saw me playing at Crowns and Kings and described me to their parents, they might guess who I really am. So think about it. Also, save your allowance this weekend. You'll need it for campaign equipment. Okay, can we meet tomorrow to talk about the options? No, not tomorrow. The upperclassmen are going to an off-campus activity tomorrow. We'll be away most of the day. Well, that will give you a chance to start charming your classmates. I guess freshmen aren't invited to this activity. On Monday, you'll meet with a professor to plan out your campaign spending. I'll catch up with you then. Have a good weekend. He goes back into his room. On Saturday morning, the mail and allowances arrive. I have $25. How do I mount a campaign like this? I'm in danger. When I go out into the hallway, I spot Luke. Hey, heading for the mall? Maybe. I haven't asked Logan yet. And Donald's in detention already. Did you hear about the Apple Festival? Is that the off-campus activity that the upperclassmen were going to? Apparently it's a big deal harvest fair with food and crafts and dancing. All the seniors go. Do you have something like that where you come from? Our biggest festival is in the spring. It's too bad freshmen can't go to this Apple Festival. I'm curious to see how Americans celebrate. Oh well, what should I do today? Mall, dungeons, or study? I think we need to blow off some stress. And we can't really spend too much money, so let's go window shopping. Humans are humans wherever they go, but I can't escape the fact that these are not my people. The differences are interesting, but they leave me feeling a little lonely. There's a shop that is half stocked with little wooden carvings and ornaments, and half with a seemingly endless variety of trading cards. What's the connection between them? They both come from trees? Lost in my thoughts, I managed to pass a few hours at the mall just observing. Stress decreases by 3. As I'm heading back to my room, I feel a strange tickling sensation in my mind. Thoughts twitch and flicker as if I were struggling to remember something and jumping from memory to memory. I'm not trying to remember, am I? Is someone using magic to send me a message? Curious, I tune my thoughts. Arcturus, are you there? There where? I'm on the quad. Right, good, the bus is on their way back. What's going on? I've been away for cider day. I know up at the festival. Right, well, almost the entire senior class was there, including Damien, and that's unusual. He never goes to off-campus events where he'll have to disguise himself. A blue devil with wings does require a bit of glamour to explain to the non-magical. So I kept an eye on him all day at the fair to see what he was up to. He bought an apple pie. And that's bad? I'm pretty certain that it's a present. Box, bow, calligraphy, all that. It's got to be for Ellen. This is your chance to interfere. I can't just rip a present out of a girl's hands. You won't just give it to her. I know him. There's always drama, always a game. I was right. There is definitely history between them. We're on our way back now. Go to Horse Hall near Ellen's room. Just see what happens. Even if all you do is spoil his grand entrance. All right. I did agree to this. I make my way over to Horse Hall, somewhat distracted. What do I actually want to accomplish here? William suggested that Damien would be most interested in me if he thought I was an innocent starstruck boy. Intrigued, maybe reluctantly, but unable to resist. That's not really me. But if I'm only trying to lead this guy on for fun, it doesn't matter if it's a lie. Fate says I haven't played this in a while. Yep, that is correct. I figured I'd bring it back for Valentine's Day. And then I figured, it'd be fun if I had a couple of roses in my hat. And then I accidentally grew them in my eye socket. I don't know Damien at all. I have no idea if I'd be interested in dating him for real. And if he did develop a genuine connection, there'd be plenty of time for him to find out what I'm really like. I could skip the innocent act and jump straight to the flirt. Oh. Or I could be honest with him and confess my involvement in William's crazy plan up front. Fate says ew. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, yes, that is disgusting, but unfortunately I have to keep it in there until it fully blooms. Then I can have it removed. Don't worry, the eye is still under there. It's just, on top of it. I can see just fine through it, though. Roses are weird. Or I could be honest with him and confess my involvement in William's crazy plan up front. Maybe he and Ellen actually like each other. Is it anyone else's business to try and stop them? If I tell Damien the truth, he might be willing to help me out in exchange, if I can trust him. I need his cooperation to fool William into thinking he's won. As a wizard of noble lines, I should not break a promise, even an informal one. But I only said I would distract Damien. Wrapping him in intrigue would be distracting, wouldn't it? Oh. What do I want? Why am I here? I pace back and forth, my thoughts refusing to settle. Still, I'm not completely blind to my surroundings. Which is why it comes as a surprise when I bump into something. Huh? It's him! Only, I'm sure he wasn't here a minute ago, but that doesn't matter. Here it is, the perfect chance. Act as innocent or just talk to him. Let's just talk to him. Hi, you're Damien Ramsey, right? Sorry about the bump. Do I know you? Not exactly, but I've seen you around. You're hard to miss. I guess I was bound to run into it. Just one question. This will be my only one. Has it sprouted from your eye directly? Eye socket or around your eyelid? It sprouted. Technically, the doctor said it sprouted out of my cornea, which is why I'm on an absolutely intense amount of magical painkillers. I guess I was bound to run into you eventually. What do you want? So far, I'm not making the best first impression. Flirt with him, or confess William's scheme? All right, chat. Since we have chat now, should we flirt with Damien or confess to Damien that we're, leading him on? I'll give you about 30 seconds. Fate says okay. I don't know. He doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would be into flirting. But he also seems like the kind of guy who would punish. You say neither, but I only have two options. I have to pick one. You know what? I'm going to confess William's scheme because it'll probably be funnier. Look, this is going to sound a little strange, but please hear me out. My senior is William Tansen. I'm pretty sure you know him. He nods slightly. Well, William takes his senior responsibilities very seriously. Not just to me, but also to his brother and sister. And to his sister's roommate, Ellen. You're a freshman. He asked me to help you to keep away from Ellen. To protect her. Why are you telling me this? Well, interfering in relationships is wrong, or I want your help with William. Oh. Oh, we're gonna play them off one another. I was hoping you could help me. If I cover for you and Ellen, so William doesn't interfere, will you help me win Oh, that's what we just did. He stares at me for a moment. Finally, he bursts out laughing. Well, this is about the last thing I'd ever expected someone asked me. Well done. I don't get nearly enough surprises. That's right, we're gonna play two boys off one another. Why do you think I can help you win him? You two used to date, didn't you? Did he tell you that? No, it's just the impression I got. No one is that obsessed with someone else's actions without some feelings involved. So did you? More or less, it was years ago. Bates is laughing. So is it his heart you want or his pants? I just want to date him. The rest can sort itself out later. He's so worried about being a good influence, he says it's inappropriate for a senior to be involved with a freshman. I thought maybe you could give me some inside information, help me figure out how to get through to him. So, you know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I don't need my back scratched. If William wants to interfere in my life, let him try. Does that mean you won't help me? I didn't say that. It would be good to see dear old William fall in love again. Just what sort of relationship did they have? We should meet again later. Perhaps I will have some advice for you then. What should I tell him about you and Ellen? Don't tell him anything. What happens between me and my freshman is none of his business. And if he doesn't like that, I'll deal with it. You don't need to worry. He nods to me and then disappears into thin air. On the side, there was a thing that said scheming, like one of those things that's showing a permanent... Yes. So I don't believe that shows permanent changes in the story. That shows various attributes that have been influenced or... I know there were attributes that we picked at character creation time, so... We'll have to check those on Sunday night. I'm not sure what to make of all that. Alright. Sunday morning. I don't even have to guess who's knocking on my door this morning. Come in, William. Hi. I wanted to apologize. I put you on the spot yesterday. I know this probably seems a little weird, sneaking around and getting worked up over a guy buying a pie. I just forgot that from last stream, says Fates. No problem. I'm taking things too personally. I know. I'll try to back off. Okay. So how did it go? Well, I did my best, but I'm not sure it worked. It's all right. You're not responsible for his actions. Okay, maybe these are just, you know, various stat increases rather than character creation attributes. So, like, I'm increasing my relationship with Damien. He sighs. Look, normally I'd say this is none of my business, but as it is, I think you made it my business. What's the story between you and Damien? Oh, that. We had a misunderstanding a long time ago. I don't say anything, but I wait for him to continue. Do you really need to hear this? If it's making him this nervous, then yes, I probably do. I nod at wait. Fine. He turns away from me as he speaks. In my freshman year, I was assigned to Falcon Hall. Damien was my next door neighbor. He was the first person I met at Iris Academy, and we made friends right away. He was charming and exotic, like no one I'd ever seen. Not because of his bloodline. We'd had otherworld visitors at home before. There was just something about him. He always had ideas, always had a good story. It was so easy to go along with whatever he wanted. And honestly, I was flattered by the attention. He made it seem like I was the irresistible one, like I was worth... He was good at making people believe things. You can probably guess where this is going. We're gonna hire him as his campaign manager and make people believe that I'm the one they should vote for, right? He seduced you or betrayed you? He covered the bed in flower petals. I laughed, but I thought it was sweet how hard he was trying to create the perfect first time. I thought we were in love. I would have followed him anywhere. That moment, that trust, knowing that he won, that was all he was after. After he got what he wanted, he changed. Suddenly, I was nothing to him. Less than nothing. I was a joke. So he is a bisexual, pickup artist. It was all some demon game to him. How lucky was I to be the first target on his list? I didn't take it well. I didn't want to believe how easily I'd been fooled. He made up all kinds of horrible lies about me, about my family, crazy things. I didn't know what to believe. In the end, what it came to was me punching him in the face with a dozen witnesses. And that's how I was sent to Wolf Hall. So you see, I know what he can do to people. There are two sides to every story. This is what William believes, but Damien's versions of events may be very different. However their breakup really happened, it's clearly a painful subject for William, and not something I ought to remind him of. He shakes his head. I'm sure you don't want to hear me go on about ancient history. Everything seems more dramatic when you're young and all your times are the first time. I don't want to see another freshman year ruin the way mine was. So be careful, alright? Even people who should know better have had trouble with them. I'll be fine. You're probably right. I'll see you tomorrow for the campaign strategy meeting. He leaves. Alright, take a save. And let's see. Okay, so the codex does not update. So the little stars on the left do not have anything to do with this. Alright. I wake Monday to a knock at the door. Mr. Emrys. I step outside to find Professor Potsdam smiling at me. Good morning, dear. These are for you. She hands me a folder bulging with papers. The label on it reads Election Protocol. Have a look through, then meet me after class today to discuss your campaign strategy. Wouldn't it have made more sense to give these to me on Friday so I could study them over the weekend? A leader must be swift and decisive. You don't always get to plan ahead. Until then, toodaloo. She winks at me and sweeps away. Well, before anything else, I need to decide on my schedule for the week. So, my stress is getting pretty high. And I should also be improving my... I believe gym is health and study is mana, so yeah. Green magic is a problem. And yeah, we're gonna take it easy this week. Exercising success. 2 strength. I head out early to meet up with William. Hey, Arcturus. The main things you need to do today are to pick up your campaign theme or slogan and to decide how you're going to spend your budget of $25. Then tomorrow and for the rest of the week, you have to attract as much attention as possible to yourself. If you look like a leader, a lot of people will believe that you are one. So themes. Some people go with joke campaigns, puns, and silly names they think will be memorable. A guy ran as a grocery list once. Buy milk, buy bread, buy cheese, vote Fred. I wouldn't recommend it. It's better to associate yourself with a powerful mental illness, even if it doesn't connect to your name. Dragons are always popular, but kind of cliche. It'll do, but you could do better. A creature from your own homeland would work better if it's something people will recognize. I don't want to be too specific about my identity, but a golden eagle might be an appropriate way to... to symbolize my heritage. Americans like eagles too, don't they? The other thing you have to do today is order your campaign materials. I hope you've saved up some allowance, but funds are required to come from the candidate's own pocket. However, since the time frame for elections is so short... Are you sure this is America? Their time frame for elections are almost as long as the term. Like, they're just in a constant electoral cycle, right? The school will provide the materials to order, so you won't have to stay up all night with markers and scissors. Now, you absolutely want at least posters or badges. That's the basics. That shows everyone who's running. Badges are probably better. People find it fun to collect them. Nobody likes eagles in America, says Fate. Oh, this is going to go bad then. People find it fun to collect them, so they'll naturally help spread them around. You can give away food. Everyone likes free food. But then it's gone and then they might not even remember who gave it to them. Sure, it's a celebrated bird, but, says Fates. Upperclassmen have the option of buying custom-made treats marked with their slogans But freshmen can't afford it. You've got a tough challenge ahead of you to beat Minnie, so take every boost you can get. But if you're going to be a leader, you need to make the final decisions yourself. Good luck. He leaves me to make my way to my meeting with Professor Potsdam. I arrive in the empty conference room and take a seat, spreading out the folders with the papers in front of me. The elections are held on Friday afternoon. By then, I have to design a campaign, promote it, and write a speech to convince people to vote for me. Eagles are not like pets. Yeah, that is true. They're very much not domesticated, if you know what I mean. That doesn't leave much time for trying to decide what I'd actually want to accomplish as a leader versus what I need to say in order to get elected. I doubt the school would let a freshman class president change anything of substance, though. It's probably just a title. Hello, Arcturus. I'm sorry that I'm late. There was a little bird in need of assistance. Oh, speaking of birds. Well, are you ready to begin? Yes, ma'am. The first thing that we need is your official campaign nickname. That's how we'll announce you on Friday when you give your platform speech. You should also design your marketing material around your theme to tie the campaign together. How do I want the student body to think of me? The Wolf King, the Golden Eagle, the Sock Monster, the Nameless. Oh, I know, the Nameless. Vote for the Nameless. Your life is pitiful anyway. The Wolf King, Golden Eagle, Sock Monster, or the Nameless. I'm gonna go with the Nameless. I think the idea of campaign nicknames is silly. It doesn't mean anything. People shouldn't vote for a bad leader hiding behind a fancy name. So I don't want a nickname. That's a very interesting philosophy, but for your campaign, you need a name and a symbol to use in your marketing. Well, call me the Nameless then, and just use a plain circle for the symbol. This could be a memorable campaign. My gimmick is that I have no gimmick. Vote for the Nameless, let them get a name, says Fates. You also need to decide how to spend your campaign budget. Now, candidates are restricted to using their own spending money to fund their campaigns. However, your parents have requested a special arrangement. Uh-oh. If you take an advance against your weekly allowance, you will have a full $100. Ma'am, I'm pretty sure that's my entire class money gone to spend on campaign supplies. Isn't that cheating? Oh no, dear, it's just a clever application of the rules. The funds are still coming from your school's spending money. You won't receive any allowance for all those future weeks. It's like homeless but nameless, says Fates. Any student who thought of it could have made that request. But I didn't think of it, my parents did. William said I needed every advantage I could get. Take the advance or turn it down. I have a feeling that we're gonna have to. Alright, I'll do it. Well then, what would you like to order? I'm sure you'll want posters and paper badges for your supporters to wear are very popular. We have some supplies in stock and I can fetch a few other things from off campus if you need them. Customized cupcakes. Yeah, we're gonna have customized cupcakes with just a circle on them. Let's see. I could just spend everything. Something's telling me, buy the customized cupcakes just because it would be funny. I order customized cupcakes for $90. Posters. Paper badges. I can't afford the standard cupcakes. Alright. I'll have those supplies delivered to your room in the morning. Good luck. This morning marks the beginning of the highly abbreviated Student Council campaign season. The campaign materials have been delivered to my door bright and early. I have a stack of six posters, each one saying, "The Nameless for President! Vote for Arcturus for Emrys!" There are 6, so I suppose I should put one up in each hall. For now, I tape the Wolf Hall copy across from my door. I have a few dozen cupcakes. They're chocolate cake with a filling of gooey chocolate orange, iced with a mirror glaze, and then my name carefully hand-piped on top. Looking at these, I can see why the custom option was so expensive. Cupcakes really aren't a breakfast food. I stashed them in my room to hand out after classes. I have some orange paper badges. They're just circles, but they get the job done. Written on each one in black ink. Arcturus and Reese for president. There's also a little box of straight pins to attach the badges to robes. I need to go out somewhere with a lot of people so I can give these away. I knock on Donald and Luke's door. Ready to go fight the good fight? You bet. Are you sure you want me along? You know a lot about attracting attention. Just don't set anyone's hair on fire. Of course not. I already did that one. Logan's helping Jacob with his campaign, so he can't join us yet. But Jacob's going for treasurer, not president, so we're not rivals and we can still stand together. Good to know. Now let's go. I spend the next hour with my hallmates, introducing myself to every student who passes and giving them my badge to wear. There's no time for serious conversation with anyone, and it would be hard to hear anyway, considering all the other candidates out on the quad this morning competing for their attention. I don't recognize all the candidates, especially the upperclassmen, but I know a few. Logan's roommate Jacob is easy to spot. He appears to be using a fireball as his symbol, and is giving out some sort of red candy. That wasn't on the school materials list, but I suppose there isn't a rule against buying candy ahead of time. Maybe I should have gone to bought candy at the mall. And then there's Minnie Cochran, surrounded by well-wishers and nearly bouncing on her toes from excitement. Each student that she speaks to walks away with a yellow paper hand pinned to their robes. Well, I can't concern myself with her. I have a job to do. This is a good way to get my name out there, but it's tiring and boring, and we have more stress. Oh, wow. Wow, we just completely melted that stress away with one... I shouldn't have slept multiple times. I leave a little bit early so that I can have a table set up on the main pathway by the time the classes are letting out. I arranged the cupcakes in an artistic pattern and prepared a smile and wave. A number of other upperclassmen clustered curiously around to see my fancy cakes, but I waved them away, proclaiming the best treats to be for freshmen only. This gets me approving smiles from my own classmates. Everyone likes to be special. If yesterday's campaigning was a dull and distant roar, today is more like standing directly under a waterfall. All over the main quad, students have taken up positions, shouting slogans and pressing colorful pieces of paper onto anyone who passes. Every year has multiple positions up for vote, multiple candidates for each position, multiple supporters for each candidate. Those who can are spraying magical sparkles or calling down beams of light around themselves to attract extra attention. Custom appears to prevent them from using spells to amplify their voices at least, or we'd all be deaf. Instead, everyone shouts messages as best they can. Taste the victory, Angela for president. Kurgan for secretary, the strength of the oak. Vote for Jacob, the blazing fire. Follow the guiding light. Vote Bei Lin. Vote for Arcturus Emrys the nameless. I just realized a problem with this campaign. I'm not exactly nameless. All that singing practice helped me stand up straight and protect my voice, but there's still only so much one person can do in this chaos. So in this case, it's saying Corral here because that's a benefit we got from Corral. William is at my side with so many of my badges pinned to his cape that it looks like it's some sort of patterned shell. He chants along with me, smiling and waving at everyone who passes. The freshmen always look pleased when he catches their eyes. Male or female, a lot of people admire William. I do my best to greet as many people by name as I can. Some of my fellow sports club members give me high fives as they pass. Will it be enough? Well, we'll find out soon enough. In green magic class, we gained 2 skill and stress. Another day, another morning of smiling and waving and trying to look my best. This time I'm on my own. It wasn't fair to expect other people to get up earlier every morning when they weren't even candidates. But I won't give up. I'm going to fight this thing to the finish. And then I hope I will sleep. Fortunately, I scheduled sleep. Across the quad, I can see Minnie, my opponent, cheerfully engaging with the crowds, with one exception. Barbara Solmoro, the quiet girl from Snake Hall. They're too far away for me to hear what they are saying. But I can see Minnie offering a hand to Barbara, and the other girl jerking away. Barbara throws her arms out behind her, her hands curling like claws, her teeth bared. Minnie looks startled and slowly backs away. I guess Barbara is even more tired of these campaigns than we are. And we are stress-free now. The election happens tomorrow, and before the votes are cast, I have to make a speech in front of my fellow students. It's been a long week already, and I haven't had as much time to focus on speech writing as I would like. Everyone's like, force the pieces of paper in their pockets unsuspectingly. When they check their pockets, they will automatically believe that I deserve to be president. I will win. You know, that would explain a lot about American elections' fates. Should I skip chorale tonight to work on my speech? Well, chorale does give me speaking. Both of these are good options, to be honest. My stress is low, so I'll probably not fail horribly if I were to skip chorale. On the other hand, I feel like chorale will probably... You know what? Let's go. It's important to show that I can keep up with my responsibilities even when I'm busy. I better go. Fate says flip a coin. Too late. Besides, I can use the break. The mood in the gym is more subdued than usual. No one seems very inclined to be loud. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? A bit tired? Since some of you have been straining your voices already this week, we're going to take it easy today. Whispering is also a strain on your voice. It's better to talk softly. First, we're all going to relax and take slow, deep breaths. Breathe from your stomach, not your ribs or neck. After the breathing exercise, we will practice making different vowel sounds to help stretch out and relax the muscles on your face. To my surprise, I leave chorale feeling more energetic than when I arrived. There's so much stream delay today. Last time it was like 2 seconds, says Fates. Yeah. It's weird. And we've decreased our stress again, which is funny because I've been sleeping a lot. And we study for today. Friday afternoon. After activities on Friday, each class has a scheduled time to come to the gym, where the officer candidates will make their final speeches before elections. We aren't allowed to vote in the elections for the higher classes, nor they in ours. Each class is meant to function as a separate unit. In theory, we know our own members best, and we know what we want as a group. Now it's a third of a minute. Oh, yeah, 20 seconds. Therefore, we are not required to attend the speeches for the other classes. The freshman slot is the last one in the day, but I chose to come in early and watch a few speeches to get a feel for how the things are usually done here. The candidates for president speak first, and then the treasurers afterwards. It seems backwards to me, but I don't make the rules. Minnie Cochran climbs onto the stage, looking as bright-eyed and enthusiastic at the end of the week as she was in the beginning. Hello, everyone. How are you enjoying life at Iris Academy so far? Are you excited about your magic? Like all of you, I've waited years for this chance to finally set foot in the magical world and find out what I can do. We're only freshmen. We're at the very beginning of our lives. Our futures hold so much more. But to make the most of it, we have to work together to combine our strengths and cover our weaknesses. All of you are powerful. Together, we are unstoppable. As your president, I promise that I will always be available to offer a helping hand to my classmates. Whether that means tutoring on weekends, crafting costumes for performances, cheering for sports matches, I'll be there. I'm here because I want to help you get what you want. I'm here to organize and to represent you as a class. So give me your hands and let's see what we can do together. Vote Minnie Cochran for president. Everyone applauds. That means it's my turn. All right, do we want to be informal or formal? I mean, I feel like informal would work better with, you know, the nameless. Hey, I'm Arcturus, and I'm running for class president. I hope you all know that by now. You also know that I'm not around here, so why should you vote for me, an outsider? Well, for one thing, I'm only going to be here for a year, so it'll be easy to get rid of me afterwards. I hear a few frank chuckles. Life comes at you fast. You've got to be ready to grab the chance when it comes, and that's why I'm here. What's the difference between them again? I don't know, maybe formal is more politician-like. I want to make this a great year. Whatever happens, I can tell you I will give it my all. So are you willing to follow me? Vote the nameless for president. Everyone claps politely. After that come the speeches from the candidates for treasurer. Jacob is running as the Blazing Fire. Blazing, I see it now. He gives a surprisingly short speech, largely boasting that because his family is wealthy, he can be trusted to handle money effectively. But everyone claps at great volume. I even hear someone shouting "woo" nearby. I suppose this audience would have been even more impressed by my heritage if they had known it. The next speaker is Emmanuel Arias from Toad Hall. Co-pilot answer. Formal language is used in serious situations or with people we don't know well, especially in writing. Informal language is more relaxed and adaptive, commonly used when speaking, says Fates. Oh, sorry, says the magical construct that Fates used. I'm not going to harass you too much for using AI, but like, yeah, that is a passable definition, I guess. A more visceral definition would be informal definition is like, hey man, what's up? And formal would be like, hello, or your majesty, or that actually that's a register higher than formal, but you know what I mean. It gets crazier in Japanese, don't worry. The next speaker is Manuel Arias from Toad Hall. His speech is so quiet that it's hard for me to make sense of all the words, especially in his accent. I believe it was about being a hard worker who never shirked his duty. There is applause, but not as much excitement. Then it is time for the official voting process. At Professor Potsdam's direction, we line up single file in the hallway. One at a time, students are allowed to enter the room to cast their votes. Each student is given a pencil and a slip of paper with the name of the candidate for each office. We are directed to circle the name we wish to vote for, fold the paper in half, and push it through a tiny slot in the box. I expect the box is warded against any attempt to change previous votes by inscription spell. Still, surely no first-year student would expect to be able to outsmart the professors and subvert the process. Well, Donald might try it, but I wouldn't. For president, I will vote for Minnie or myself. Myself, of course. For treasurer, I will vote for Jacob or Manuel. You know what? Manuel deserves a pity vote. I circle the name. Job done. After all the votes are counted, we assemble again in the gym for the results. The position of freshman class treasurer will be held by Manuel Arias. Oh, wow. I guess everyone gave him a pity vote. And I'm proud to announce that this year's freshman class president will be Minnie Cochran. Damn it! I spent $100 for nothing. I lost. I'd like to thank you all for your hard work this week. You students are what make Iris Academy truly great. The teachers need to speak to the newly elected officers afterwards to discuss their positions. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Damn it, nobody wanted the nameless, and now I have no allowance for the rest of the semester. Out of habit, I look for the allowance before remembering that I won't be receiving one until I paid off my advance. What should I do today? Well, You know what, let's just study. Minnie Cochran is assisting students in the school library. Hello, Arcturus. I'm glad to see you here. I wanted a chance to say I really appreciated your campaign and I hope there are no hard feelings. The only hard feeling I have is to me. For spending all the money that I should have just pocketed. It's fine. Someone wins, someone loses. That's how it goes. From my own mind, I would think that informal would be more like with the elderly and people you don't have a relationship with. Sorry, I would think that formal would be more like with elderly and people you don't have a relationship with, and informal would be more like friends and family. That is actually kind of correct. Again, especially in Japanese. I offer her my hand and she shakes it. Thanks. Alright, let's study with Minnie, because now that she's present, we have to get in her good graces or she'll punish us. But enough about that. We discussed the principles of red magic. Smartness and red magic increase by 1, stress increases by 4. I spot William in the hallway and he waves at me. Hey. Congratulations on your campaign. You didn't win, but you made a good showing. Thanks. He obviously expected me to lose. I suppose everyone did. But I'm sure there was a way I could have won. You've established yourself pretty well here. Guess you don't need a nursemaid anymore, huh? Nursemaid? It takes me a moment to put it together. The elections are over. That means someone else is senior class president, and William no longer has any official duties, like helping me. Oh no, William, I thought now that you're not so busy with student council activities, we might hang out or something. I always kind of wondered what you do on weekends. Study, it's not very interesting. You're a wolf. I refuse to believe that you study all the time. Well, senior secrets, you know, we have more on our minds. And more need of some time to relax, I would think. I'm sure I'll see you around, but you do better spending time with your classmates. I'll catch you later. He heads off to his room. And in the cafeteria, we head for lunch. I have already taken a seat and begun to attend to my meal when I feel a slight breeze tickle my ear. Oh. Hello, Arcturus. It's Damien. I heard that you were running for class president. I'm sorry you didn't win. Yeah, well, there's always other chances. Did you take advantage of the campaign to spend some time with William? Of course. Good, but don't lean on him too much. If he sees himself as your teacher, he'll keep his distance. It wouldn't be honorable for a teacher to be involved with a student, you know. Yeah, I've been trying to figure out some other way to spend time with him on a more equal foot level, but I don't even know what he likes. Poetry. Really? He was particularly fond of some old movie about boys secretly reading poetry to each other. Secretly. I've never even seen him with a book. He liked it to be secret. Oh. I wonder what he's remembering. Don't ask him about it directly. Keep an eye on him and see if you can stumble into his interest by accident. And it would help to be prepared with examples of writing that I enjoy. I'll have to think about that. Now, may I sit down? Oh, certainly. He sweeps his cape out of the way and takes a seat across from me. So, exchange student, how are you finding our glorious country? You know, not a lot of people ask me that. I think they're so absolutely certain that America is glorious that they take it for granted I must be impressed. Or they don't even understand that other countries exist. The land of the free, the home of the brave. They can't see it through our eyes. I mean, it's a great place to visit, but it's not home. And since he's from the other world, I expect that your territory is a lot more impressive than these Vermont towns. Yes. He smiles and shifts subjects. There's a young man in Falcon Hall with a matching wolf brother. Is he your roommate? Luke? No, I don't have a roommate. He was expelled already? That's fast. No, I never had one to begin with. Will this never stop coming up? What were my parents thinking? Damien smiles and bumps the side of his hand against mine where it rests on the table. Hey, don't feel weird. Every single student at this school is an exception to the rules. All of them. After all, look at me. He certainly is one of a kind. Thanks. Don't mention it. Aren't you going to eat your salad? I can't help but laughing. It's Sunday, and the sports club is holding another game of football. Virginia has the ball and is making her way along the floor towards Ellen at the goal. I cut in to try and steal, but she twists and sidesteps. Before I can spin and correct, she's lined up her angle. One swift kick, and the ball flies through the air. What are you guys doing? No one stops to acknowledge Jacob's entrance until after Ellen has successfully blocked the goal. This is a sports club meeting. What are you doing here? Maybe I want to play. I'm a fit guy, right? Fine, whatever. Alright. He closes his eyes briefly, and there's a tingle of green magic. Hey, you can't do that. Do what? No magic allowed. What are you talking about? We're wizards. This is real sports, not bounders. Guys, is everything okay? This one says you guys are refusing to use magic. What's the point of that? This one. It's just a game. It doesn't need magic to be fun. It's unnatural. Magic is what we are. It's my club, and I say there's no magic allowed. Without magic, it's just the same kiddie games we played all our lives. Here we finally have the chance to use all our skills. It's true that outside of a school like this, no one would be allowed to use any sort of magical enhancement while playing games. So why should we have to hold back from the best we can do? Because it's the rules. Ellen stepped forward to support her roommate. People without magic still have to hold back in order to play fair. You don't pick up the ball in soccer. You don't beat up the other team to stop them from reaching the goal. You do your best within the rules. That's good sportsmanship. Jacob snorts. Maybe we should take a vote on these rules. You appreciate the idea of playing with fire, do you, Arcturs? How about flying basketball? We already voted without you. Maybe it would be fun sometime. You know what? Maybe it would be fun sometime. It might be fun to play with spells someday, but not now. We were already in a game if you didn't notice. We'd have to work up whole new rules for what spells are and aren't allowed to keep it fun and fair. Most people can't fly, you know. A total magical free-for-all between so many people could get pretty dangerous, and really would be more like bounders or dueling than a sport. I look at Virginia. Do you think it might work? I guess. Do you still want to play? She's looking up at Jacob with big eyes, full of hope. Does she actually like him, even though she stood in his way? Call me when you play a real game. He leaves, and the girls relax. Good riddance. Why are boys so rude? Arcturus wasn't rude. Okay, fair. And William isn't neither. Not all boys are awful, I guess. That's better. No, she wasn't interested in Jacob. She's just a natural peacekeeper. She probably gets a lot of practice having Virginia as a roommate. Come on, let's get back to the game. We continue our match without further interruptions. At the end of the week, we get to save. That was one hell of a week. Actually, no, I think I may have forgotten to mark a week down in my stopwatch, but yeah. On Monday morning, I come out of my room into the middle of a conversation. Have to help me. You could have let me carry the bucket myself. I probably wouldn't have spilled it. You shouldn't have filled it so full. Hey, it's cool. His shoes look better that way anyway. Oh, is that what happened to Grabner's shoes? I should have guessed. Yeah, but how am I going to earn the merits back? I asked you if you wanted to help with the gardening. Isn't there something easier? How can gardening be hard? We only had to dig holes in the mud. Something not dirty? How is mud dirtier than Jersey dung? Something else? Try the library? Potsdam sometimes pins up requests in the back. The back of what? The back of the library, just like I said. Right. I leave them to sort out their plans while I decide on my schedule for the week. So our stress is really good. I think we should just train our magic. White magic first, then the rest. One white magic, one stress. And Luke is fake coughing. I look up to see Luke leaning against the wall, his eyes twitching nervously back and forth. You okay? He gulps. Arcturus, yes? Can you tell me how to find the library? He doesn't know where it is? I guess, but why didn't you ask Donald? I don't want him to think I'm stupid. He always gets things faster than I do. Sometimes I don't even know what he's talking about, so I have to fake it. Sometimes I don't know what he's talking about either. I don't get his references because I'm not from here, so I just ask. I don't think he'd be mean about it. I hate being the dumb twin. It's not dumb to not know things if nobody told them to you in the first place. So can you tell me how to find the library? Come on, I'll show you. I lead Luke into the library. Here you go. Books, magazines, and the library. Miss Darden. Hi. Haven't you been here before, child? No. I see. That must have been your brother. Yeah. He heads off into the back and promptly swings his arm into the magazine rack, knocking several issues onto the floor. Sorry? Lord have mercy. He scrambles around to pick up everything he dropped. I don't really need anything here. I probably should go back to my room. As I'm thinking that, I notice Ellen sitting at a table with a stack of books, scowling down at one that she has open. Is she doing a research project? I haven't had any assigned in my classes. Is there extra tuition somewhere that I don't know about? Scheming. I seat myself across the table from Ellen and speak softly. After all, this is a library. Are you writing a paper? Huh? I tip my head towards her stack of books. What class assigned that? Oh no, it's not a paper. It's not for class. I was just reading. If it's recreational, why was she scowling? Virginia, my roommate, said that witches don't celebrate Columbus Day. She said history was different here, but I'm not sure what she meant. The past is the past. It already happened. It can't change, can it? So I'm trying to find references in the school history books, but no one even mentions Columbus. So was Virginia right that wizards have a taboo about saying his name? She makes things up sometimes. Who's Columbus? What? Oh, I suppose he wouldn't be very important for where you're from. I don't know if that's true. I never attended a low-world school. She shifts her shoulders, taking up a lecturer's demeanor. Christopher Columbus was a Spanish explorer, or maybe Italian, but he sailed for Spain. He led one of the first expeditions across the sea from Europe to America, when people in Europe didn't know it existed. He was looking for Japan, but he found the Caribbean instead. True story. He was actually pretty terrible. He killed all the Indians, Native Americans he could find, or kidnapped them for slaves. Serves the explorers right, they all got syphilis. She realizes what she just said and turns pink. It's not hard to guess how and why slave takers picked up asexual disease. I wave my hand to brush that away and encourage her to continue. Anyway, he's considered important because he discovered America, and today would be a holiday for him in the normal world. So I'm trying to figure out what's different here. Did you ask the librarian? That's how I got these books, but they don't have any answers. At least I'm not seeing them. Well, I'm sorry I can't help. I know even less about it than you do. Thanks anyway. I leave her to project. Red magic class. We got 2 magic and stress. One and one blue, 1 stress. In the middle of the night, I wake up with the need to visit the toilet. This won't take long. I pull on my robes and my socks. The floors can be cold even during the day. I step out in the hall. Do I not have a bathroom in my dorm? And then I hear something odd. Footsteps, running. Why would someone be running in the halls at this hour of night? Are they coming this way? I peer out in the darkness as the footsteps grow closer, unsure of what to do. There's a flicker of movement at the far end of the corridor, and then the footsteps are past, gone, receding. Whoever it was just ran past Wolf Hall completely. Are they being chased? I can't hear anything else, but depending on what it is, I might not. It doesn't really have anything to do with me. I'll have to be quick. I sprint down the hall in the direction that I heard the runner going. Whoever or whatever that was, he's already got a head start, so I may be too late. Out of nowhere, some force shoves me backwards. My sock feet flip out from under me, and I crash down onto the hallway floor. Did someone just attack me? I scramble up as fast as I can, but my socks keep wanting to slide on the smooth surface underfoot. I don't know what happened. I didn't see anyone. It must have been magic. But where was the spellcaster? Was he invisible? I listen, but I don't hear any more movement. Quietly now, I ease my way to the next turning and peer down the hall. Nothing. No one. Was someone there at all? Was it a phantasm or a shadow, or just a prank of some sort? Without more clues, I cannot know. I return to my own hall, but I keep my own eyes open, just in case. Did we remember to pee? 1 green magic, 1 stress. What did I run into last night? Another student, most likely. It would only take a simple push spell to knock me off my feet. Even most freshmen could have done it. Why attack me? I wasn't involved in whatever was going on. I was just trying to see what was happening. Whoever it was didn't want me to caught. He was running away. But not just from me, because it was the running that I heard in the first place. Running away from what? I didn't see anyone following. Maybe he'd done something bad and was trying to get away from the scene of the crime. I didn't hear any uproar today. But it might have only been a prank. I don't go out at night very often. Maybe there's another reason for people to run by Wolf Hall in the dark. Who would know? We could ask the pranksters, or we could ask the upperclassmen that we're trying to schmooze. You know what? Let's ask William. I knock on William's door. Arcturus, what is it? Sorry to bother you, but I was wondering if you'd heard anything strange in the night. What do you mean? People in the halls of night running around and trying not to be caught? I'm sure there's many reasons for people to sneak around at night. You shouldn't worry about it. Someone attacked me. What? I heard someone running. I followed the sound, but I couldn't see anyone. Then, all of a sudden, I got knocked down, probably by magic. I don't know anything about that. It was probably nothing, but I'll keep an eye out. If you need someone to go with you. I'm not scared. It's my problem to solve. I'm just wondering if you knew something I didn't. Right, you're a wolf, sorry. I don't think you need to worry. People moving around at night are probably just looking for a bit of privacy. Most likely, you were in the wrong place at the wrong time and startled someone. I don't think there's a real mystery to solve, I suppose. And Donald and Luke say, hey, Arcturus, what's up? Hey, were either of you doing anything weird last night? You mean like trying to take over the world? That's not weird. That's what we do every night. Narf. I heard someone running in the halls. At least, I thought it was someone running. When I went out to look, I couldn't see anyone. And then something knocked me down. Like an invisible person ran into you. I don't know. I didn't feel a body, human or otherwise. It was probably magic. Maybe it was a poltergeist. A what? The spirit of an ancient pirate who was beheaded by the English Navy and now walks at night with his head under his arm dripping blood. Dude, we're not even near the coast. Pirates are cool though. I didn't see any dripping blood. Maybe it's invisible blood, like ectoplasm. Maybe you slipped in it and that's why you fell. Maybe it's all over you right now. I'm pretty sure there's no dead pirates in the school. We could fix that. That's not a bad idea. I shake my head. Seriously, you don't have any ideas of what was going on last night? Nope, sorry. I guess you could keep an ear out to see if it happens again. I guess, thanks. Well, it probably doesn't matter anyway. And we gain black magic and stress. We slept so much last week that we kind of have to spend... We're going to have to catch up. I'm pretty sure these are low for October. Footsteps in the hall signal the usual Saturday morning distributions. Nothing for me. What should I do today? Let's study. Minnie Cochran is assisting students in the school library. Minnie and I discussed the principles of white magic. Smart and white magic increase by 1. Stress increases by 4. Trying to work out what to write in my next letter home, I have stayed up later than I intended. I can't call this evening anymore. It's night and I should get to bed. As I start to prepare for sleep, I hear footsteps in the hall outside. The footsteps walk past my door and keep going. Who's out there? Quietly, I crack open the door and peer outside, just in time to see a figure disappear around the corner. I only saw him for a moment, but that was definitely William's ponytail. Does that have something to do with the person or whatever that attacked me the other night? Or is this a more personal encounter? What's he up to? William's got his boots on, I don't. If I'm quiet, he won't hear me. I cast a quick silence spell to muffle any sound I make, just in case. Leaving my door ajar, I follow William down the dark passageways. Luckily for me, he's just walking along, not checking behind him or making any attempt at stealth. He doesn't seem to worry about being caught or followed. He's not walking towards the other sleeping halls, he's heading past upper-level classrooms. They aren't his goal either. At last he comes to an exit door. From the location, this goes out behind the building. I don't think I've ever been here. I slide swiftly along the floor to catch the door before it closes and ease myself out after him. There's a little courtyard, mostly surrounded by buildings. Unlike the decorative flower arrangements out front, here there's nothing but bare grass. I wonder if we could play games out here. A paved path leads away into the shadow of the trees. That's where William's headed. I squint into the gloom. There's another smaller building out over that way. What is it? I'm so busy trying to see what's ahead that I trip over a loose stone in the path. Thanks to the spell I cast earlier, I don't make a sound, and William doesn't notice. I have a feeling this event specifically requires you to have certain magic attributes in order to not fail. In William's shadow, I approach the strange building, which appears to shine and glimmer slightly in the moonlight. Is it enchanted somehow? Holding my breath, I pass through the door. It's a wizard's greenhouse. This must be where Professor Potsdam stores plants that aren't on display. And there are other students already here to greet William. Hello, oh, are you bringing a new member? What? And now he turns around and notices me. Arcturus, what are you doing here? Following you. You do not like poetry. Aha, this must be William's secret poetry reading club. I love poetry. I enjoy a lot of poetry, especially when it's read aloud. It has more resonance that way. Oh good, you are joined, then Tyrannus won't be lonely. A lunch kid. It's safe for him to recite poetry with his bloodline. I didn't invite him, but I suppose what's done is done. Poetry is meant to be shared, and secrets are meant to be kept. Do you promise never to tell anyone where the midnight poets meet? You can tell someone you're one of us if you trust them. But you can't tell about the meetings. You have to bring them here. A magical promise is a solemn oath that can't be broken without severe consequences. But they're being careful not to ask for too much. I promise. We do have a rule. No love poems. Any other sort of poetry is okay, but since you probably didn't bring anything, you can just listen. I hope you like it. We settle back to wait for the other members to arrive. It's a small group. Tyrannus turns out to be the only other freshman. He glares at me, but the other members seem happy to have me present. One by one, members stand up to recite the poem they had planned for the evening. Many are funny, some are philosophical. Remember me when I'm gone far away to the silent land. After that, everyone sits around for a while, talking about how their week has gone, and then we all break up to sneak back to our dorms. It seems like I've joined my first secret society! Today, when we meet for our nature walk, Balthasar is carrying a small plastic bucket. These are night crawlers. They're very popular with fish. They don't have enough mind to respond to a call, but you can draw them out by hand if you're patient. I don't know a call spell anyway. Sounds like we need to study more white magic. You want a wet night, nice and dark, and you've got to be quiet. Footsteps can scare them back underground. You catch the tip in your fingers and you pull up really slowly, all the way out of the hole. Would anyone like to hold one? No one looks desperate to have worms in their hands. I'm sure we all did that as children anyway. This time of year, the fish are hungry. A few of these in the water, we should see a lot of action. We're not here to catch fish, just to see them. I didn't say anything. Best to see are the speckled trout. They turn colors and fall to attract mates. Bright orange underneath. With that, he starts to lead the way to whatever stream or pond he's hoping to find fish in. Manuel falls in beside me. I like fishing, but at home we get to eat them. How about you? Do you have fish where you come from? I mean, nearby. Sure. There's fish everywhere, aren't there? In the ocean, at least? There must be. I've never caught a fish myself. Don't you need a boat and a net? That's if you want to catch enough to sell. For one person, a pole and a line is enough. He explains fishing poles and angling to me with a lot of hand gestures. You can catch them in your paws if you're really lucky, but a pole works better. Linda thinks everyone should know how to catch their own food. Linda? My mother, but she likes me to call her by her name. Is that weird? Every family's different. He looks relieved. Do you live in the other world? He's not full human, so it's possible, but he must have strong connections with this world or he wouldn't be attending Iris Academy. Not usually, but we go there to run and hunt. Otherwise, there's too many hunters with guns. It's not safe. Manuel, are you worried about being shot? For wolves. For anyone in the woods in hunting season, if they're not wearing orange. I look down at my bright orange cape and then at his subdued toad yellow. But it's safe here, near the school and the park. Hunting's not allowed and there's magic to turn poachers away. I think. This is an officially recognized school club. They wouldn't let us go out in the woods if it were dangerous. Right? My parents will be most displeased if I get myself shot in America. Well, I'm certainly safer following the group than standing here lost in my own thoughts. We'll see if I can find any fish. And, of course... Oh, I forgot to save. Oh, now we can save. On Monday morning, someone knocks on my door. Good morning. I'm going around to make sure all the freshmen know that the next exam will take place this Friday. This Friday, not next. If the exams are held once every month, I would have expected the next one to be closer to the end of the month. No, next week is the Dark Dance, so there are no classes on Friday. What's the Dark Dance? I can tell you about that later. I need to make sure everyone knows about the exam before they set their schedules. Because it's the last chance to learn new spells before needing to use them in the dungeon, so people need to be prepared. Got it? Okay, bye. She hurries away. Well, knowing that I need to be ready for a test, what should I do this week? Well, I think we're good with our strength and smarts, so... Yeah, actually, something's telling me to study white magic first. We got... Okay, we're up to 10 white magic. Professor Potsdam walks to the front of the classroom and claps her hands together. Yelstabutra Olchan Tlopulse. What language was she speaking? I thought it was fairly well traveled, but I didn't recognize that at all. Hold on a second. I think that was an actual spell that I just cast. Damn it. Maybe I shouldn't read the magic words. Sorry, guys. They should be able to put that out. Today's lesson concerns the magic of communication. It may seem very simple for you to speak to your friends and hear them reply, but there can be many barriers to understanding. Unfamiliar words, different languages, friends who cannot physically speak or hear, all of a sudden it is not so easy. With the magic of the mind, you can reach out to any nearby thinking creature and offer the chance of true communication. Communication must be mutual. If your target does not wish to share thoughts with you, you cannot communicate. However, if you offer the hand of friendship, you may be surprised at how many will wish to communicate with you. Allows the caster to communicate understandably with a willing target. Green magic class. Failure! Gained 2 stress. William flags me down in the hallway. Hey, got a minute? Okay, what's up? Well, it happens to be that my brother Donald's birthday is next week. You see him more than I do. I wondered if you had any idea what he'd like for a gift. Isn't he a bit old for that? What do you mean? Sorry, I'm not sure. Where I come from, only children have presents from friends for a birthday. If it were my birthday, I would take everyone out, buy them a meal so that they could enjoy being with me. But it is different here. Right, if we went for a birthday meal, I would pay, not him. And Donald's feelings would be hurt if I didn't give him some kind of present. Family should always think of family. Am I supposed to give presents? I don't know how this works. Unless he invites you to do something special for a celebration, he wouldn't be expecting a gift. If you want to show that you're a good friend, you could get him a card. Or just help me think of something, and I can say it's from both of us. I've been here at school for the past few years. I'm a little out of touch. What sort of gift would Donald like? I'm gonna say a book. Why a book? Donald is smarter than he lets on, and I know he's spent time in the library. He hides it because it doesn't match his image. But I'll bet he reads for fun when nobody's looking. So maybe a popular novel like that one about the boy and a dragon, or a murder mystery? I'll think about it. Thanks. Anytime. Alright, our black magic is up to 9. Our green is going to be down. As I'm walking back to my dorm, I see a group of people standing near one of the buildings, necks craning upward. I look up to see a figure standing on the roof. The sun in my eyes makes it hard to see detail, but I think that's a girl in snake hall robes. Is she going to jump? I move closer, just in time to see Professor Potsdam emerge from a building and come over to join the group on the ground. It looks like they're all seniors. Spread yourselves out a bit more. If you put your hands on your hips, your elbows shouldn't bump anyone. Brian, Isabel, take a step. Now watch your directions. Keep your focus straight. We don't want her to bounce. I will maintain the link to keep your forces balanced, so if you would please open your minds. Is this a class exercise? It sounds a little dangerous. There's a vague tingle of magic, and then Potsdam raises her head. You can jump now, dear. I can't watch. When I dare to look back, I see this girl hovering over the heads of the seniors, her arms and legs spread like she's trying to catch hold of the air. She wobbles up and down a bit, but appears mostly steady. Those shoes, isn't that Barbara Samoro? That's right, ease her lower. Now peel back. The seniors standing furthest from the floating girl back away, followed by more, until only those directly underneath her remain. Hold her right there for a moment, now move. The last few seniors dive out of the way as Barbara falls face first onto the ground. Even from only a few feet high, that had to hurt, and I'm half expecting her to have a bloody nose when she gets up. If she gets up. But when she pushes herself to her feet, she appears entirely unharmed, just a bit dusty. Of course, Professor Potsdam must have shielded her before she dropped. I hope you all enjoyed this chance to put your skills into practice. I think I'm glad it wasn't me. Alright, we're at Blue Magic 9. Well, everyone knows we have tests tomorrow. It's still business as usual for the Iris Academy Chorale. After all, even we freshmen have some idea of how to handle the exams by now, and panicking tonight isn't going to do any good. Good evening, everyone. Have you all warmed up? In about 2 months, it'll be time for the annual holiday concert, so we need to decide what songs we're going to perform. You can suggest anything you like, but if we can't find a choral arrangement, you're out of luck. Christmas songs, Yule songs, New Year's songs, Hanukkah songs, midwinter songs, anything you think might fit. Do I have to bring back the Santa hat? Students raise their hands to propose songs, most of which seem to be called something or other carol. A dark-haired falcon suggests Nair Lee, and a wolf asks for Gor Wasal. I suppose that I need to learn more languages. I can't even guess where that title comes from. Then Ellen raises her hand. Are we allowed to request songs that are difficult? Try me. Then this little babe. Blaze shrugs and notes it down for her list. She does seem to want a wide range of options, and traditional music from my region would be different. Do we dare suggest a song? Sure, let's get ourselves into even more trouble. I put my hand up. How about Usevrimgutska? I'm not pronouncing that right. Or how do you spell that? I'll write it down. Alright? Now we can't meet next week because the gym will be set up for the dark dance on Thursday, so the week after that I'll bring in what music I could find and we'll see how they do. After that, we practice a few generally agreed great favorites that Blaze already had sheet music for, including what the Americans call the Carol of the Bells, but I know better as Skadrik. It's strange to think of the winter holidays being soon, but I suppose it isn't really, it's just that we need to get practicing ahead of time. By the calendar, this school term is about halfway over, I believe. Am I used to America by now? Well, no time to think about that. Tonight we sing, and tomorrow we face the exam. What if we have to wrestle an alligator? What if they throw us down a bottomless pit and we can't fly, we keep falling forever? Dude, relax or you're gonna give yourself a hernia. What's a hernia? Muscle injury, I think. You can get it from lifting or trying too hard. Anyway, it's just an exam. You'll be fine. And if you get really in trouble, you can always give up, have the cheaters rescue you, and join me in detention. Well, it'll be over soon enough. And my red magic is actually done really well. Forceful magic need not always be applied externally or with an outward direction. The energy can be focused upon itself. Observe. He passes by each student in turn. When he reaches me, I feel my desk begin to vibrate in place, buzzing with trapped energy. After a moment, it stops, showing no sign of damage. The only lingering effect is a faint warmth. With sufficient magical energy, one could cause an object to literally destroy itself, shaking and crumbling into nothing. Thankfully for the school buildings, none of you can master up such a power. At your level, the best use for internalized energy is to counteract effects that might have otherwise produced it. If a spell has caused you to be slowed, frozen, or asleep, an excitation spell would return you to normal. Though you might face some difficulty in casting such a spell in those circumstances. It might be useful in a team adventure, though. Energize. Shakes and warms a target, counteracting some spells' effects. Alright. At the appointing time, I make my way to the testing location. Not the actual testing location, of course, just the place they'll teleport me in from. We can't walk down to the dungeons ourselves, since then we'd already know where the exit was and how to reach it. Showing up here indicates that we are ready to begin. Am I ready? Change equipment. Oh, yeah, no. Alright then, here we go. You find yourself back in the dungeons. In the distance, you hear something hissing. Oh. Is there going to be snakes? You cast Spirit Sense. You detect no spirits nearby other than yourself. Let's see. I just noticed that there's directional audio. Alright, let's examine the boulder. Round enough to roll, but too heavy to move. You examine the floor. As far as your eyes can tell, it's a perfectly ordinary stone floor. If at first you don't succeed, try again is inscribed upon it. Alright. And over here we have... what is that? You examine the gas. A heavy green gas pours out of slots in the wall and pulls on the floor before dissipating. As far as your eyes can tell, it's a perfectly ordinary stone floor. Nox money is inscribed upon that. upon it. Okay, that wasn't a spell. Let's see. Maybe we have to push the boulder. What's over here? We have some rocks. You examine the carving. A stone plaque on the floor, upon which is a smooth raised oval, like a very large button. Oh, hello. That actually makes the hissing go away. And, oh, okay. So we have a button over there. Can we make the boulder force the button down? Let's see. Let's push the boulder. Oh wow, that's a lot of magic. South. Push the boulder east. Oh, the boulder keeps moving. That's probably useful because this push spell uses a lot of magic. Push the boulder left, north. The hissing sound fades away. Alright, that seems useful. Yes, climb the stairs. I make my way up to the surface, blinking a bit at the sunlight. Congratulations, Arcturus. For succeeding in your quest, you receive 5 merits. And I'm glad to see you haven't taken too much damage from our little poison trap. Gas safety is our achievement. I hope you enjoyed putting your skills into practice. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have another student to look after. Ma'am, did you poison a student? Well, that's done. Footsteps in the hall signal the usual Saturday morning distributions, nothing for me. I hear someone running down the hall outside, feet pounding. I am the champion of the universe! I suppose he did well on his exam. Watch out! Uh-oh. I stick my head out into the hall to see Luke and Donald picking themselves up off the floor. You okay? You're not solid enough to knock me out. Go on, I'll see you after detention. What should I do today? You know, if we're gonna start casting like really strong spells, and I'm not gonna get any money for a long while. So what I get for spending $90 on cupcakes only to lose. Yeah, let's just study. Ask Minnie about the dark dance. Minnie. Yes, Arcturus. Could you tell me more about the dark dance? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Her voice is unusually loud for the library, and I can see several other students turn to stare at her, but she doesn't seem embarrassed at all. The dark dance is a ritual in which we invite the Jogao, the little people, to cross the threshold from the other world. It developed from a native Haudenosaunee tradition of the spirits and European traditions of Samhain and Hallowmas. The dance is held on Halloween night in the dark, so that no one can see who or what is dancing with us. This was originally meant for the magic poor, so that they wouldn't be afraid to or try to capture their visitors. But it's still very important to be polite. Don't stare and don't try to find out who's attending the dance. All who come in peace are welcome. Oh, and the Iris Academy dance goes on all night long. If you last through the night, you're supposed to receive a blessing. So classes will be cancelled on the day afterwards. Does it answer your question? Yeah, pretty much. Oh, good. Alright. We study green magic, which is good because that's the one I was down on. And our stress has increased a lot. I'm settling down for a meal in the cafeteria when I hear someone call my name. Busy? Not particularly. He takes a seat across from me. So, how are things going with you and William? I found a secret Oh, we've just broken an oath, haven't we? But I can't tell you the details. I don't need to know. I have to prepare a poem for a future meeting. Do you think I should go with something he would recognize or something from my homeland? From your home would be better. It's more personal to you. It gives him more to be interested in. Don't read a translation. Stick to the original language. It will sound exotic and that's sexy. Oh. You'll know you've intrigued him if he asks you what it means. Thanks. He shakes back his hair. I was hoping for a bit of friendly consideration. What do you mean? I intend to escort Ellen to the dark dance this week. It can be disorientating for newcomers, even dangerous if they're not careful. She'll enjoy herself more with a steady guide. Of course, if William catches wind, he'll probably expect me to ravish her under a cover of darkness. Which just shows how little he knows the game. She is a shy girl. It's far too soon to make that kind of move. I will be a perfect gentleman. But William's temper might create a problem. He said that he knew he was overreacting about you and would try to back off. I don't think he'd want to start trouble. Not unless you were really groping girls in the dark. Still, it might be useful to have you nearby in case of trouble. I can count on you, can I? Sure. Thanks. He stands and nods to me. I'll see you around. He leaves me to finish my meal. That's another week. And this will probably be the last week. Hey guys, remember, dark dance on Thursday, which means no class on Friday. This is terrible. Come on, it's a day off. Think of all the fun we can have. Not that, the dance. Even if I can convince someone to go with me, I'm probably going to step on their toes. It's not really a date dance, man. We're not there to be romantic. It's a ritual. So I have to learn ritual steps? Not exactly. You just dance. You have to feel it, get the rhythm and the beat, and then let the spirit move you. He demonstrates with a little roll of the hips. Everyone's moving around at random, in the dark. I'm definitely going to bang into someone. You won't be the only one. If the whole school is packed in there in the dark, I'm pretty sure a few bumps are expected. As long as you don't move too fast, it shouldn't be that dangerous. Look, just stick with me and it'll be okay. I'm used to your elbows by now. So what should I do this week? Let's see. We only have 4 slots. And we have a lot of stress. Something's telling me I should just sleep before the dance. Let's see. And blue, green, and black magic, of course. We'll need to level that up. 1 blue, 1 stress. The most common application of blue magic is to change the appearance of reality through illusion. Illusions can be charming and comfortable, but if they disguise dangers, they may also be deadly. A critical skill for a student of blue magic is learning to bypass such seemings and perceive what truly is. Focus your attention, push past your causal preconceptions, and face the truth. I stare at my desk concentrating, and suddenly, a handful of small, sharp pebbles pop into focus. When did they get there? The great weakness of this technique is that it only penetrates illusions you are viewing in that moment. In the next instant, a new lie might be woven, and your previous spell would not protect you. To be certain of the truth, you must constantly question your surroundings. That sounds exhausting. True sight allows the caster to see through illusions in the current location. Alright. I hear someone knock on a door down the hall and pop my head out to see if anything interesting is happening. So I wanted to wish you a happy 17th. He hands over a package wrapped in glossy, dark blue paper, more a falcon's color than a wolf's. The package is wide and flat. It could be a book or a shirt, perhaps. Donald takes the gift, but doesn't unwrap it. Thanks. Urchin's not with you. You know your sister, she's probably not out of bed yet. I'm sure you'll see her later today. She wouldn't forget your birthday, yeah? Hey, happy birthday. Thanks. I've got to get on to class now. You kids have a good day. Hey, I'm older now. Right. He leaves and Donald shakes his head. Must be simpler being an only child. He steps back into his room, gift in hand. And we gain 2 green magic, 2 stress. Now, I'm sure you've all been looking forward to this lesson. Today you will be learning simple magical healing. Now I must warn you, by simple healing I mean that you can undo damage to a living pattern that is both recent and minor. If you burn your hand on a hot plate, it is quite simple to heal the wound. A lost finger would not be so easy. Students should only use healing magic to recover from minor accidents in combat or dungeon adventures. If you are feeling a bit under the weather, a touch of healing magic might perk you up, but don't be disappointed if it fails. The common cold is more complicated than it might seem. Cures minor injuries and ailments on one living target, restoring up to 10 HP. Alright, we gain 1 black magic and 1 stress. As black magic deals with enchantment, it is commonly used to place delayed magical effects inside objects. A spell might be set to go off when someone presses a particular stone or says a certain word. Without knowledge of that spell's key, dozens of adventurers might walk by and never unlock its secrets. Now, if you know that a delayed charm has been set in an area, you can use your own magic to trigger the effect immediately. But if that spell was a trap designed to harm whoever was nearby, triggering it might not be wise. If you are unsure what effect a charm will have, it might be best to leave it alone, or at least to take precautions. There are times when it is necessary to take a risk or challenge a guard in order to reach your goal. If avoiding the danger is impossible, better to face it at a time and place of your choosing. Of course, today's demonstration traps won't be dangerous at all. Somehow, looking at her face, I'm not reassured. Sets off simple delayed effects or traps within the caster's current location. Can be dangerous. Trigger. And we're sleeping on Thursday. So our stress is down to 7, which is good. Sorry, my webcam is being a little, you know, that. Alright, we have lost 25 stress. Which I just realized, is that... Okay, no, it's not our smart or strength attributes. When the school year began, suppers were still lit by sunset, but the approaching winter crowds light up out of the day. I get my tray and look for a place to sit, eventually spotting an open stool near Virginia and Ellen. You've got no reason to be so... Oh, hi, Arcturus. Hi. Don't you think Ellen should stop being so gloomy? I'm not gloomy. I've just got things on my mind. Well, get them off your mind. You'll feel better when you get moving. I always do. Just let yourself go and get into the music. Sure, I'm fine. She stands up. I'm not very hungry. I'm gonna go freshen up. She drops her brownie onto Virginia's bright plate as she leaves. Yeah, I'm worried about her. She always says she's fine. I can't figure it out. Maybe she really is fine. You can't be that bad at girls. Her mouth says she's fine. Her eyes and everything else? Uh-oh. Being worried apparently doesn't stop her from eating her roommate's brownie. Catch you later. Enjoy the dance. She leaves me to finish my food. Late in the evening, hours after dinner, the students are summoned to the dark dance. Now even the lights in the halls have been turned off, leaving only moonlight and the faint blue glow of magic to navigate by. I can hear the drums in the distance, feel them more than hear them. A rhythm that shivers through the walls and floors. Groups of students pass by in little clusters, murmuring to each other. There's no rule against speaking loudly as far as I know. But the atmosphere promotes a spirit of mystery. In the dark, it's hard to tell who is who, and even harder to tell what they are talking about. At least until I hear a familiar voice. Then why did you say it? I didn't know what else to do. I was trying to push you away. Is that Elliot and Damien? I peeked down a side corridor into the gloom. You certainly did that? I'm sure you've heard the stories by now. William will have made sure of that, about me and how I hurt people that get close to me. And it's true. Every bit of it's true. Everything I touch goes wrong. I didn't want that for you. I thought Damien told me he and Ellen had a date planned for the dance. This sounds like they must have had a fight. So you insulted me. You hurt me to protect me? That's stupid. I know. I'm an idiot. I always have been. You're the clever one, Ellen. You're not like other girls. You're special. Whenever someone says you're not like other girls, run. You're a wild seed, but you outshine every born witch. You see things in an instant. You're not afraid. You charge forward like a hero. You deserve better than to get mixed up with a villain like me. I can choose that for myself. He chuckles. You see, you're not afraid of anything, even when you should be. I lied to you, and then I tried to stay away. But I missed you. It hurt not talking to you, knowing that you thought I hated you. Knowing that even when I sent you presents, you'd never imagined they were for me. That pie was from you? I don't usually attend things like the Apple Festival, where I have to hide what I am. But I thought you might be sad that you couldn't go, so I brought you something. I hope you liked it. I never had apple pie before. It was sweet. So are you. I feel awkward watching this. I think I'd better go on to the gym. Damien did ask me to keep an eye on things, but they're not actually at the dance yet. I'll find them again later. As I step into the gym, the darkness wraps around more tightly around me. My eyes struggle to gain awareness of the space around me. There are only shadows shifting and the endless rustle of unseen branches. Dead leaves crunch beneath my feet, and the scent of pine hangs in the air. The drums still beat, though I cannot see the drummers, and now that pulse is joined by the threads of melody. I can't make out all the instruments, a flute, a guitar, nor can I tell whether it's being played here and now or drawn out from the memory of a concert elsewhere. And so I let myself drift along, drawn to the rhythm. The music loops around itself in a spiral pattern, tracing the passage to the other world without ever opening the gate. It does not stop, it does not start. There are dancers around me, aren't there? Only silhouettes and suggestions, maybe there, maybe not. A chill autumn breeze caresses my cheek, carrying with it a warm curl of smoke. I sway carefully, trying not to impact the people around me, and the need for constant shifting moves me along the floor like a twig caught in a slow current. The night goes on, playing tricks with a sense of time. How long have I been here? I'm thirsty, but I'm not sure which way the nearest water would be. I turn towards the edges of the room, trying to reorient myself. After so long in the dark, my eyes are somewhat better adapted, but without the clear outline of devilish wings, I would not have noticed Damien. I was supposed to be watching out for them, wasn't I? I moved closer. They're dancing very close together, Damien looming behind her, his wings serving as a shield to keep others at bay. He's probably getting bumped into a lot that way, but she isn't. I look around a bit to see if William is anywhere nearby, but it is impossible to be sure in this gloom. He certainly isn't bothering them. Suddenly, Ellen's shadow detaches from Damien's and moves closer to me. Is it true? Did William ask you to spy on me? What? I'm not sure what to say. That's not exactly what William asked me to do, and it's not what I'm doing. But I can't say that it's a lie either. So it is. I'm not spying, and William just wanted to be sure you're okay. I'm fine, and you can tell him that. She stomps back to Damien. Whoops! Hopefully he can reassure her that I didn't have any bad intentions. Wait, how would she have known that William asked me to get involved? Unless Damien told her, and then told me to be here and watch them. Sneaky, but I guess that's my favor paid back. A table set up by one of the walls contains a large rock bowl filled with water that ripples and burbles continuously, an enchantment for keeping it flowing and fresh. There are no cups, so I have to dip my hands into the water and scoop out a mouthful, then shake my fingers dry. They're shaded. I return to the dance, and the night stretches on. Surrounded by friends and mysteries, I dance the night away. Alright, it is now November. And we got free... Oh, I didn't have to sleep at all. Still, I feel awkward about staying in bed past noon when I'm so used to getting an earlier start. So do I. So lunch. I pop into the cafeteria and grab a tray of food. It's pretty empty in here. The lack of scheduling for the day means that no one's in a rush to get onto other activities, so they can eat wherever they like, whenever they like. It also means that I have no idea what anyone else is doing for the day or what I want to do. I still need to pick out a poem to perform tomorrow night. I could try to talk to Ellen about last night. I could just hang out with Donald and Luke. I'm sure they'll be doing something fun. First I need to finish my meal, but then I think I'll... You know what? Yeah, let's fall into Damien's trap and read some more poetry. It doesn't take long to discover the weakness in this plan. The Iris Academy Library is not what one would call a wide-ranging collection. There are books of poetry on the shelves, exactly 3 of them. 1 Oxford British anthology, 1 American, and 1 collection of love poems. The table of contents lists 800 poems in the British book alone, so club members do have options to choose from. Still, it's limiting. They will all have read these before, no surprises. There's a bookstore in the mall tomorrow. If I go tomorrow, I might find something more unusual, but only the sort of thing that's current in America. If I send a message home quickly, my parents may be able to have something delivered by tomorrow, though they would wonder why. The easiest thing to do would be to pick from the poems here. You know what? Let's check them all tomorrow. I can deal with it later. I've wasted enough time on this today already. I think I'll go look for my hallmates. I drop by my room first to check for messages, and then head back out into Wolf Hall. Hey guys, are you set for your weekly detention, or would you have to cause a ruckus? I took care of that 8 days ago. I heard that you might have company this week. Something about Barbara Solmoro using white magic to detect spirits at the Dark Dance? I didn't hear anything about that. Haha, you better look out. I heard she files her nails with a knife. Claws roar. I heard it was her teeth. Like a shark, she'll eat you alive. She was seen in the cafeteria using a knife on her nails, but I have not heard about her clawing anyone. He taps his hands together and digs into his pocket. I purchased a few packs of cards this weekend. Would you all be up for a game of poker? Don't you need more people for a poker table? I thought it was bridge that played 4. 4's plenty for stud poker. Student poker? That's not what stud means. Why is it called stud poker anyway? I don't actually know. Maybe if you win, you'll be a real stud. I don't think we're in any danger of you winning. Is Logan that good? Would you care to find out? That depends on what the stakes are. If he's an expert, I could end up losing all the money that Iris Academy allows me to hold. So, I don't have a lot of that. Petty chips and bragging rights only. We spend the afternoon playing games. Luke generally loses, but he doesn't seem to mind. As for Logan, he does well, but not that well. I don't think he's a secret card genius. Unless that's exactly what he wants me to think. Footsteps in the hall signal the usual Saturday morning distributions. Nothing for me. The Midnight Poets are meeting tonight. So... let's go to the mall. Bookstore. The mall bookstore contains more titles than the school library, but a large number of them are only glossy praise of celebrities or home decorating. $16 for a contemporary poetry anthology. A poetry journal for 4. Can't find anything short enough to memorize in either location. You know what? Let's save our money. I pay for the magazine. It's good to support the local creators after all. I find a place to sit and begin reading through the poems. Many of them are hard to understand, but if they were worth printing, surely they must have had some value. We gather in the greenhouse for a meeting of the Midnight Poets. Corinna starts off with a poem about autumn. Season of mist and fellow fruitfulness, both a friend of the maturing sun. A few other related pieces follow. I suppose the Dark Dance has made everyone aware of the changing seasons. One sophomore reads out a Halloween poem of ghosts and goblins, with a rhythm so strong that hands start tapping to the beat as he goes. William takes things in a more personal direction. We make ourselves a place apart, behind light words that tease and flout. But oh, the agitated heart till someone find us really out. And then it's my turn. I bring out the magazine I bought, fold it over to my selected page. Most of the poems were too political for me to use. I don't want to accidentally take sides in some controversy I haven't even heard of. So what I ended up was a poem about hands and how they can show your history and offer either help or violence. It doesn't have any personal meaning to me, but at least it shouldn't cause offense. Next comes Tyrannus' turn, and he reads what I recognize as an angry bit of Shakespeare. At last, we toast our cultural success with tiny paper cups of spiced apple juice, and then turn in for the night. The cafeteria's dessert today is a dark brown spice bread. The taste reminds me of a bit of Medenka, but more moist and without the chocolate. I think they call it gingerbread. As I eat my meal, I hear Ray's voices near me. Well, only one voice is Ray's, the other's silent. Just worried about you, don't you see? What happened in the dark dance could have been very dangerous at a gathering outside of school. If you talked to me beforehand, I could have answered your questions. If you talked to me before you went up on the roof, I could have fetched pots from faster. Please let me help you. I'm always available as class president. Barbara glares at her. She picks up the knife from her cafeteria tray. Slowly, deliberately, she points the tip in Minnie's direction. All right, I'll go. She walks away, and Barbara goes back to eating her meal. She appears to pay no attention to anyone else around her, and everyone else around her tries very hard to look like they're not paying attention to her. Oh boy. At the end of the week, I have the chance to review the things I prepared and make preparations for the future. And... oh, I needed to save. Anyway, I think it's time to call the stream. As much as I'm sure everyone, all 0 of you, would really want to keep watching more Magical Diary Wolf Hall, all I can do is promise you that, well, it'll be around in the future, don't worry. I do plan to bring this back and forth. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and do all of the other fun things that YouTube begs me to beg you to do. If you're getting tired of being begged to satisfy the algorithm, why don't you join the Celestial Sphere, which is our Discord server, which you can get to from arcturus.live. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.